up inside King Saul's life, and he turns away from the enemies of Israel and he begins to hunt David.
Era obujja obwo ne bweyongera mu kabaka Sawulo n'ava ne ku balabe abandirumba Isirayiri ate n'ayolekeza obukyayi buno eri Dawudi.
And as we saw last Sunday, David ran.
Era nga twalaba Sande wedde nti Dawudi yadduka.
He ran without food, he ran without an armor, not without any sword. He just ran away for his life. And then he ends up in the house of the Lord, the tabernacle in the land of Nob. The Ark of the Covenant for over 400 years dwelt at Shiloh, if you're a good Bible reader. I won't go into deep what happened, and the Ark of the Covenant was shifted to Nob. So he goes to Nob, to the priest or to the prophet, by the names of Ahimelech, and then he sought food from the king, and he sought a weapon from the king. And this is the only time in the Bible that we see weapons being kept in the church. We don't see that anywhere in the Bible where swords are kept in the church. And there is a significance of that, which we may not delve into today because of the interest of time. But the prophet does not know about the conflict that David had with King Saul. So he thought that this is a favored David is a favorite of the king, because the king even offered to David to marry her daughter. And when these things happened, the priests had no clue of what was going on. So he did what he was supposed to do. But in the midst of their conversation, there was a servant of Saul who apparently was the head of the herdsmen of Saul, who followed up the conversation. And then he went to the king and told the king what happened. The king's hunger was filled up, and he commanded that over 85 prophets or priests be killed that day. Not only them, but to the women and the men and the children and even the babies were killed who lived in the city of Nob. But there is one prophet who managed to sneak and run away. And then he went to David. He said, "You know what, David? So the king has killed everybody, but I managed to escape." And David said, "I knew when I saw Doeg, the servant of the king, when I saw him, I knew this will happen." But he said to this prophet, he said, "Don't go away. I am in chapter 22. Don't go away. Stay with me, because with me you will be safe." And there is a reason why David does not want this man of God
era waliwo ensonga lwaki Dawudi yali tayagala musajja wa Katonda
to leave him, and I'll be giving you the significance of that just in a little bit.
yali tayagala musajja wa Katonda n'agenda era njja bankubuulira
So he told him, come be with me.
Dawudi amugamba
Don't
jangu
go
beera nange
away.
togenda todduka
Stay with me.
beera sigala nange
Because as you will see
kubanga nga bw'onoolaba
in chapter 23,
mu ssuula eya 23
that David needed to inquire of the Lord.
Dawudi yali yeetaaga okubuuza Katonda
And in those days,
era mu biseera ebyo
how they used to inquire of the Lord
engeri gye beebuuzangamu
is that they
Katonda
had 2 or 3 stones.
tibaalina amayinja nga 3
One stone said,
ejjinja erimu nga ligamba
or meant no.
lyategeezanga nedda
The other stone,
ejjinja eddala
yes.
nga ligamba ye
And the other third stone
eddala eryokusatu nga ligamba nti
meant wait.
nga ligamba lindako.
So back then, they used to have these stones into the garment of the prophets. It's called the ephod.
Amayinja gano gaabeeranga ne bakabona mu kyambalo ekyo kye bayita ifan.
And when one stone behaved a certain way, they knew the Lord is saying yes. When the other behaved a certain way, they say the Lord says no. And when nothing happened on the other, they knew God is demanding us to stand still and wait.
Okusinziira ku mayinja ago kye gaagambanga nga bamanya Katonda agambye kati tugende oba tubireke oba tulindeko.
And that is how they inquired of the Lord.
Era bwe batyo bwe beebuuzanga Katonda.
And it is the last time,
Era gwe mulundi ogwasemba
it is the last time that we see the Lord communicate or speak to his people in that way.
era gwe mulundi gwe tusembayo okulaba nga Katonda ayogeragezeganya n'abantu be mu ngeri eyo.
So number one, the principle we get from here,
So ekisooka kye tufuna okuva wano,
number one principle, it says that you need a spiritual man
ennono esooka egamba nti weetaaga omusajja ow'omwoyo
and a spiritual woman,
era n'omwami ow'omwoyo.
either a spiritual man or a spiritual woman,
Weetaagako omu ku babiri, omwami oba omukyala ow'omwoyo,
to be part of your daily dealings.
okubeera ekitundu ku bulamu bwo obwa bulijjo,
Daily dealings.
mu byokola ebya bulijjo ng'ali kitundu.
Weetaaga omusajja wa Katonda.
You need a spiritual man of God
Weetaaga omukyala wa
or a
Katonda
spiritual woman of God
okubeera mukwano gwo
to be your friend
mu bulamu bwo obwa bulijjo.
in your daily dealings.
Because time is going to come in
Kubanga
your life.
akaseera kagenda kujja, kagenda tuuka
You face troubles of life
ng'ofuna emitawaana mu bulamu
when
bwo
you need to inquire through your friend
nga weetaaga okubuuza okuyita mu mukwano gwo
of what your next step should be and how it should look like.
nga weetaaga okumanya kiki ky'ozzaako era
If you don't go with that man of God, with that prophet, with your pastor,
bw'otagenda na musumbawo na musajja wa Katonda oyo oba nabbi,
things may overturn, things may vigorously come against you.
ebintu biyinza okwefuulira.
You may not manage to escape the tides of the storms that may blow against your life.
Oyinza obutasobola kuyita mu muyaga ogwo omungi ogukunta mu
So in
bulamu bwo.
chapter 23,
So mu ssuula eya 23
we see that whenever David wanted to attack, to go,
tulaba nti buli Dawudi bwe yayagalanga okulumba,
he inquired of the Lord on what to do and how to do it and when to do it.
asooka kwebuuza ku Katonda ku kiki ky'alina okukola era ddi era akikola atya.
But he inquires of the Lord through the prophet that he saved.
Naye yeebuuza eri Katonda ng'ayita mu nnabbi ono gwe yataasa yali adduse.
Save for yourself a man of God or a woman of God.
So n'olwekyo naawe weetaaga omusajja wa Katonda oba omukyala wa Katonda.
Kingambireko mulirwanaawo, save for yourself a man of God
Help me tell your neighbor nti naawe weetaaga
or a woman of God.
omwami oba omukyala wa Katonda.
Because one day, one time,
kubanga olunaku
Your life will be beaten up.
obulamu bwo
You'll be tossed up.
bujja
And you
yigganyizibwa
need counsel and an encouragement of a man of God or a woman of God.
nga weetaaga okuzzizibwamu amaanyi okuva eri omwami oba omukyala wa
We are
Katonda.
in the dispensation of social media.
Tuli mu biro eby'emitimbagano.
Everybody in this room, or 80%, have a smartphone.
Abantu nga 80% mu kanisa muno balina simu
And
ez'okuseera.
most of you are on TikTok, are on Facebook, are on Instagram, are on Telegram.
Era bangi ku mmwe muli ku mikutu egyo.
I am surprised to see some people I never expected